Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of these reviews. For this one, I'm focusing on Scotland versus Ireland. Six Nations encounter. So Scotland versus Ireland. So this game was played in Scotland, and it did not disappoint at all. It was just a game of high intensity. A game where if you're watching, you don't really do anything else. You just concentrate on it and just drop everything you're supposed to do for that 80 minutes. Malay field was packed in Edinburgh, and Scottish fans came up in numbers. So yeah, it was very intense. It was very intense. It was very energetic. All the players really gave it all, especially in the first half. Wow, what a game! Really impressed with both teams actually, but also Scotland in the first half. They really did well here. But of course, Ireland, they always stay on. Even in the second half, they know that they have to finish the job. But yeah, it was good. It was a matter of who's gonna stay in the game, who's gonna remain fit, and who's gonna continue the intensity. Who's gonna blink first. It was a matter of who's going to blink first, who's gonna make the mistake first. And yeah, it was just so good. It was just so good. In one of these Irish attacks, Sexton tried to nudge the ball over the Irish line, and it reaches for touch, and Scotland attempt to make a quick line out from this in their own 22, a quick line out, and it gets intercepted by Ireland, and Ireland nearly, actually they go over the try line of the Scots and score a try, but then the referee reverses the thing and denies them a try because it's this new ball rule that I don't understand. I don't get this new ball rule. I don't like the new ball rule. I think it's actually doesn't make sense to me. Like in football you can get the new ball and throw it in and then continue to play. There's nothing wrong with it. But in rugby you can't do that. You're supposed to continue to use the old ball, which I don't get. They should really change that law and allow for the new ball to be used immediately if the old ball goes missing or whatever happens. So I wrote here that I also noticed that there's some issues in the Scottish line-out early on in this game. There was Scots having some early issues in their line-outs, but they managed to really do well and soldier on here and play and not concede anything. On another play, Ireland again they get another line-out 5 meters out from the Scottish sideline, and they launched like a nice onslaught here to nearly score. But again, it's the Scottish defense is very good today. They are well organized. The Scottish defense. It's very impressive defense they're showing here. They are very good. The collisions, they are hitting the Irish very hard in the collisions. They are reading the plays very well actually. Scotland. You can see they are well drilled for this one. They are well prepared for this game. They are in this game to win, to challenge, to win and challenge. So when this happens, it's in the first 10 minutes, and Scotland and Ireland have not scored a single try. So this is something that we have to note, that in the past games they play against any opposition, they usually score in the first 4 minutes. I think this is the first time where they managed to be held in the first 10 minutes and not score a try or even anything. So after the attempt to score from this main phase attack in this onslaught, Ireland opt for 3 points because the position of the penalty they get is in front of the poles, and Sexton kicks the 3 points for Ireland. Immediately Scotland launched their own attack inside the Irish half. This attack is 12 phases. It's relentless Scottish attack in the Irish half. Combination of pick and goes and shifting the point of contact in the collisions. So what they're doing is combination pick and go, or what they do quickly, if they are caught, quickly move the ball to the next contact zone. They are making holes. So they launch their own attack inside the Irish half for 12 phases. It's relentless attack, but of course the Irish try to form their own resistance by holding on to these guys. And but after about 13 phases, the ball ends up on the hands of Hugh Jones, who goes over and scores a try for Scotland. And the crowd in Murrayfield goes mad, because this is a great try for them. It's validation that whatever they are doing in this game is going to pay off. Yeah, it continues to be very intense in this game. Very intense. Scotland clearly targeting the Irish breakdown, trying to slow down the ball, starving them of that quick ball they like to have in their games, disrupting them. You know, that's how you play against the top side like Ireland. You target the breakdown, and that's what they're doing. And as I said before, in their attack, they shift the point of contact a lot, Scotland. So when the ball gets here in the contact, when they're attacking, they shift it very quickly to disrupt that Irish defense, to try to catch them off guard before they realign very quick. But they're very good also, Ireland, in realigning their defense. They're very organized, as is obvious. So in another play, Ireland again launched another attack from a scrum just outside the Scots 22 and take it through some nice hands, doing what they usually do, their patterns and stuff, and it ends up on the hands of Figo Keenan. And Keenan makes a few meters and gives a high quality long pass to Mark Hansen on the right hand side. And Mark Hansen does the impossible possible. He scores a beautiful try here. It's a good finish from him. They have to review this because it looks like he touched his foot isn't touched or there's something, but when they review, they realize that he's actually scored this time. It's very impressive from this guy, Mike Hansen. He's a top player. Him and Keenan in that Irish backline are very good players, and James Lowe, of course. But immediately after this, Scotland reply with their own attack. Duan van der Merwe nearly scores, but Scotland concede a penalty for holding on to the ball inside the Irish 22. What I found is that Duan doesn't like passing the ball, especially when the opportunity is to pass. Doesn't like passing the ball. That's something that you should improve on, going forward, because you're supposed to communicate very well with your teammates. If you want to do well, the whole team to do well, the players, when they break, they need to look for the support and realize when they support and actually make the pass so that the other teammate can go on and score. Again, by this time the game is played again. It's high intensity, it's high octane stuff, it's energy. And the players, when they rest, you can clearly see when you're looking at them through the TV that they are gasping for air to fill up those lungs, and it's bending. It's played at a high intensity. And moments later, Ireland get another attacking line out 5 meters out from the Scottish try line, and but they lose they lose the ball during the line out throw, and Scotland repossess the ball, and so they lose this line out, Ireland, which is very unlike them. Again, the game is played at high intensity. The ruck speeds are very high and it's very intense. You can see the players are really, especially the forwards, are struggling here. Scotland get a penalty just inside the Irish half and nearly score on the corner through Duan van der Merwe. But again, I think that he should have passed this, because he had an opportunity to give it to the inside player who was supporting him on his right, but it didn't pass. And the result, he was driven out to touch, and the referee blew his half-time whistle. So the half-time score is Scotland 7, Ireland 8. If Duhan gives that pass, Scotland can go and score and go to the half-time leading. You see, half-time is very important in rugby. It gives you momentum as a team. If you go to half-time leading, even if it's by a point, as it happened here, it does something to psychology. So both teams return from the half-time and pick up where they left off with the high intensity. But Ireland are losing a lot of players through injuries. In the first half, they lost Colin Doris and Dan Sheehan. So after the half time, they lose now Kelleher, their second reserve hooker. You see now they continue with no hooker. So the roles have to be changed now. In the lineouts, Josh van der Vliet is the one who's throwing the ball in. But when they are going for the scrums, Kian Hill is the one who's playing as the hooker. So during this transition, this player role transition, if I may call it, they make some few mistakes, Ireland. Trying to consolidate and trying to bring in these new players into their new roles. They make some few mistakes, and during this time also they bring in Gibson Park for Conor Murray. I like Gibson Park a lot. He's a top player. Scotland changed their front props, Skuman and Zana Ferguson, which I think is a mistake. I wouldn't have changed those props there if I were Gregor Townsend. I would have kept them at least up until the 70th minute. But they changed them very early in the second half, and I think it had an effect because during that scrum, in that scrum when they were changed, Scotland lost the scrum immediately. So during that play, Gibson Park kicked a very good box kick, and it lands inside the Scottish 22, and Mark Hansen catches it. So he chases it and he catches it inside the Scots 22. It goes through the hands and ends up on James Lowe's side, on the left hand side, and he goes in to finish the try. Yeah, you see, this is critical. This is a very important time in the game. This is where the whole thing started. I think this is where Scotland kind of like lost touch with the game also. I think those two props that came in really had an effect on their downfall. But also the Ireland bringing in Gibson Park upped their game a bit, their tempo. Well, not their tempo, but the whole thing, the way they play. So Ireland scored a try to James Lowe. Scottish players, you can see now in their faces that they're starting to drop their heads. Confidence goes down a bit. They're starting to make mistakes of their own now, and I have to also state that the pace of the game has drops a bit after this try. It drops a bit. There is not too much energy in the game. Scotland make their own mistakes now, and they allow Ireland to attack again through 5 phases to set up Jack Connan on the right hand corner, and Jack Connan scores this try again. You see, it's Ireland now. 2 quick tries. Scotland concede, and it's not looking good for them. Yeah, as I said, the energy of the whole game changes, and close to the 70th minute, the score becomes Scotland 7, Ireland 22. By this time, I'm thinking that it's game over for the Scots, because there's no way they're going to come back from this, and Ireland just look a formidable team. They're in charge. They are the game management. They keep the Scots inside their 22. They're doing so well, and Johnny Sexton comes out for Byrne, and Ireland lose another player. This time it's Gary Ringrose. He gets hit. He hits another player on the hip there, but when he's taken out, he shows the thumbs up that is okay. Ireland continue to do well in their lineouts. Josh van der Vliet is very impressive in this game. His lineout throwing ability is very good. Yeah, you can see he's worked on this skill of throwing the ball during a lineout. He's doing it very well. The Irish attempt another attack. Gibson Park throws an impressive inside pass to James Ryan, who nearly scores a try, but when he presses the ball over the try line, he knocks it. So it doesn't count as a try for Ireland. But again, it's them who's coming at Scotland. Scotland have really just given up by now. They've given up. The body language is just wrong, and the fans also, the noise from the fans has dropped significantly. So the play continues until minute 80, when the referee blows his whistle, final time whistle. So the game ends at Scotland 7, Ireland 22. This was a top game, guys. top game. Especially the first half was very good. The first half, it was very impressive. But in the second half, I feel like Scotland dropped the intensity a bit, and as a result, it led to Ireland also dropping their own in the way they play, and not. So the whole game just slowed down in the second half. The rucks were much slower in the second half. Players who did well, Mark Hansen really impressed me for Ireland. Mark Hansen impressed me. Hugo Keenan was very good in this game, as usual. He's a top player. I like Keenan a lot. The Scottish props, Zona Fickerson and Piers Kuman were very impressive here. They played really well. The scrums, they really did well. Even the carries, they were very good in the carries. Scotland looked good. Yeah, they look very good. Townsend is doing a great job with the Scottish team. Their future is very bright for them. Although they lost this game, but yeah, they show some signs that if they turn up, they can really do harm. They can really, I think they have a chance to beat this Irish side in the World Cup. It won't be easy though. It won't be easy, as the Ireland has shown in this game that even if they lose all their hookers and all their key players in the main positions, they still can continue and hurt you. They really show that they are a championship side, the top side. Yeah. So Ireland are gonna go on and win their Grand Slam in Dublin next week against England. I don't see England doing anything against Ireland in Dublin. From what I saw against France, no. Ireland, start preparing, guys. Start celebrating for your Grand Slam. Good game overall, very impressive, and a very high quality standards of rugby that were displayed in Murrayfield. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening.